Good morning. How's it going? I know you can't answer that, but I would shake your hand good morning, but unfortunately that's not possible from inside this box here. But anyway, good morning. Hope you all are having a wonderful, beautiful day. It is a bit overcast here, which is still cool. It's still beautiful. But anyway, let's get right down to business here. Today, I'm going to talk about a few of the reasons that I quit pornography. And that's a decision that I made a long time ago. It's a decision that I started to take seriously about 2 years ago, and a decision that I finally succeeded in making for good a little over a year ago. So a lot of growth, a long process there. But these are a few of the reasons that I ended up deciding to do that. And these are really good reasons. These are top-notch reasons, just absolutely great reasons. But anyway, let's get right down to it here. First reason, number one reason, and really the most important reason, because this is kind of the biggest part of my life, is my faith. And I'm a Christian, and that means that if I take that seriously, then I should make it a priority to obey God, obey His commands. And God says, do not commit adultery. Jesus said that if you look after a woman to lust after her, then you've committed adultery in your heart. So clearly, porn is just a no-go there. And honestly, that should be enough. But I have other reasons too. And I'm going to get right down to those here, since the first one, there's not really much to explain there. It's just kind of straightforward. God said so. God usually knows, well, not usually, always knows what's best, as I have found out. Sometimes the easy way, sometimes the hard way. But that's all there is to that one. So on to the next ones here. Next one, and this is a big one too, is porn-induced fetishes. Yeah, I will spare you the details on that one. I don't even want to think about it myself, but I was getting into some messed up stuff, just some stuff that I did not want to be into, did not want to have in my life. Just didn't want to play with that anymore. And this is stuff that a lot of people go through. Okay, a lot of people end up getting into stuff that's deeper or weirder or more messed up than they ever would have expected. And this isn't people discovering their sexuality or anything like that. This is their sexuality being perverted and distorted, and you have to recognize that this is not a part of who you are. And that goes into another subject that I've talked about a lot, which is the idea of identity and how you identify yourself, and why you shouldn't identify with your sins or your perversions or things like that, things that you've picked up over the years. Don't identify with that stuff, okay? It's not a part of you, it's just a distortion of who you really are. And so these porn-induced fetishes and things like that, don't identify with that. It's not you. They're reversible. These things that I've gotten into over the years after quitting porn for a significant amount of time, for me it was over half a year for me. Some people it doesn't take as long. Some people it takes a longer amount of time, but after about half a year or so, these things started to disappear, and that's kind of the proof that these things were not how I naturally think. Just the stuff that I used to be into, it just has no appeal to me at all anymore. And that's awesome. It's so good to be free of that and to not have to have that stuff plaguing my mind anymore. And this ties into the next point. It's so good not to have to bring that into a relationship and have that just be this baggage that I'm bringing into a relationship with somebody else. Didn't want to deal with that, didn't want to put that on anybody else. And so the idea of a future relationship is also one of the reasons that I decided I had to quit this. For one thing, like I said, I didn't want to be bringing any of that baggage, any of that weird stuff into a relationship. And for another, I wanted to be completely committed from the get-go. You see, as Jesus implied, I see porn as cheating. And there's no way around it. That's really what it is it's cheating. And that's just a non-negotiable point there. Obviously, if you're cheating, then that's not good for a relationship. And it's hard to say that you're really taking that relationship seriously. And when I make a commitment or something like that, I take that very seriously, and I intend to see it through. And so to have something like that going on is just not an option for me. Something like pornography, that kind of disloyalty, that kind of constant breaking of that commitment is not okay. And so I had to get rid of that before I could even take seriously the idea of getting into a relationship with anybody. And so that's another reason, and I'm glad I made that decision. And it's really a load off my mind, really freeing to just have that totally taken care of already, and to just have that in the past, not have to worry about it anymore, not have to worry about bringing that into a relationship with somebody else is just awesome, really. Not having to fight that battle, and have your partner suffer through that fight with you. That's fantastic. So, excellent decision on that end too. The next one is time. Okay, this is terrible, but if I was going to watch pornography, if I was going to do something that is not really in line with my values, then I was going to make sure that I got as much enjoyment out of it as I could. And that means that I spent a significant amount of time just throwing my life away on that. And those are hours, hundreds of hours, maybe thousands of hours that I'm never going to get back. Hours that couldn't be spent on something else, something more productive, something more fulfilling and enriching, And that is a big one, really, is time. And you don't really realize how much time you spend on it until you just quit totally, and it's just completely gone from your life. And you start focusing on more worthwhile things, more meaningful endeavors. And there's other things that go into how much time you waste too. I know video games was a big one for me. It might be a big one for you. I decided to quit video games completely. I'm not going to make the same ethical argument against those that I make against pornography, but that's something else I quit that I'm glad about. But pornography especially, I'm glad I quit. And that was a huge time vacuum for me. A lot of missed opportunity because of that. Because really, any time you have has opportunity. Okay? It's another life lesson right there. The world is so full of opportunities that any minute, any hour of your day has some kind of opportunity in it. So take advantage of that. Stop throwing it away on just this cheap pleasure. All right? And the fifth reason, the last one I'm going to go over for now, is just always having something to hide. I hated that. I hated it so much, always wondering if I forgot to close something, or if I forgot to delete something, or if all these what ifs, what if somebody finds out, what if somebody finds something, what if somebody finds out the weird stuff that I was into. There's all these what ifs, all this paranoia even that I had over this. And rather than trying to hide something and keep up this act all day, every day, it's easier to just not have anything to hide. And that is so much better, and it's so freeing to not have to hide anything like that. The only thing that you should really have to hide in your life is what you're getting for somebody's birthday or for Christmas, okay? It's better to be the kind of person who doesn't need to filter their life than it is to just try and keep up with trying to filter everything and hide everything and try to present this image to everybody that isn't really what's there. Just getting rid of pornography, just getting rid of that stuff that I was hiding for so long has really helped me mentally and emotionally, I think. And it's just, like I said, it's been so freeing, so liberating. The idea here is not to, put yourself in bondage or something like that. I feel like a lot of people get this idea that quitting pornography is the opposite of liberating, that you're actually just being really strict with yourself and that you're putting yourself under a lot of limitations and things like that. But really, it's just the opposite. It one of the most freeing and liberating decisions I've ever made in my life. And yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult because it does require restraint. But for freedom to work does require restraint. And that's why, you know, the freest countries, they still have laws, or at least they have a culture that promotes self-restraint and self-discipline. And that's absolutely vital. Discipline is a vital prerequisite to real freedom. Okay, so yeah, those are the 5 reasons I'm going to go over right now. There are other reasons too. There's all kinds of reasons, and there are different reasons for different people. Different people have different benefits to quitting and all these kind of things, but those are the 5 I'm going to go over right now. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a sample. Hopefully you agree with some of these reasons, and if you haven't decided to quit porn already, I hope you will. And if you have decided to quit porn, or you are deciding to quit porn and you need help with that, and you want to know, well, how do I do this? I've got tons of videos on that too. So check those out. These are all videos that cover things that I wish people had told me earlier on. And if that were the case, then I think I would have been able to quit for good a lot sooner. It was a long fight. It was a long fight. I spent years fighting this thing, and just not really knowing how, not understanding the battle completely set me back a lot. And it set a lot of people back, really. And so these are lessons from personal experience that I'm sharing. Hopefully it'll speed up somebody else's progress. Hopefully it can speed up your progress. So check those out. There's a whole video series, How to Quit Porn. There's a few other scattered videos that cover topics related to that, and even other videos that are unrelated that cover other things. So check those out if you're interested. If you like my voice, if you like my loud car, if you like any of this stuff, then check all that out. It's good stuff. It's based on experience. It's all stuff that I have tried and seen for myself. So that's about it for now. They almost backed into me. That's weird, but crisis averted. Y'all have a wonderful, beautiful, lovely porn-free day, week, month, rest of your life, hopefully. And until next time, God bless you guys. Take it easy, but not too easy. And I will talk to you later.